Hey, welcome to the Basement Series. In this episode, we're gonna talk about cars. We're gonna talk about muscle cars, sports cars. We're gonna talk about highways and dedicated lanes on the highways. And you might think, why are we gonna talk about cars in the Basement Series? Well, if you look at today's cars, they're not about higher speed and faster and those kind of things. No, they're all about being more sustainable, and they're about efficiency. And they're loaded with software that provides artificial intelligence that actually makes them drive on their own and make their own decisions. Isn't that amazing? Now, in this episode, we're gonna launch a new wireless access point that is actually doing the same thing. It's all about sustainability, efficiency, getting you back into the office in a safe way, and that with the best, the latest, and greatest Wi-Fi 6E access point. That's what we're launching in this episode. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome back to the Basement Series. Today I'm here with my friend Steven and our dearest guest. So Steven, what are we going to talk about today?
As you can see, I'm really excited today because we're gonna announce something new, something big, something we've been waiting on for a long time. And the person that's gonna announce it today is actually a person that we hired as an intern. Yeah, he came into Cisco as an intern, his summer internship, and he was asking so many difficult questions. He was asking questions that people didn't know the answer to. So the business unit decided to hire the guy. And I'm very happy with that. We speak to him almost on a daily basis because he's responsible for the 9105 wireless access points, the 9124, the outdoor access points. He is responsible for features like the integration with Intel Analytics. But that is not the reason why we're talking with him today. He is here because we are announcing the new Wi-Fi 6E access point. Nick, welcome.
Thank you so much, Steven. Honor, pleasure to be here. Really looking forward to this.
Awesome. We're happy to have you with us. Sofya.
Absolutely. Nicholas, now I'm eager to ask you some of the questions because it's top of mind for everyone nowadays. Well, there are a lot of conversations and even rumors happening now about Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6E. So now we know something about Wi-Fi 6, right? But what is so special about Wi-Fi 6E that it's coming? Tell us about it.
Absolutely, Sofya. Great question. Now, Wi-Fi 6 is probably the best thing that's happened for Wi-Fi in a decade or so, right? We're getting an entire new analogy is typically highway that we can play on for data transmissions, right? So imagine whatever Wi-Fi can do today, we just got the same amount of bandwidth only in the 6 gigahertz band. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, faster transmission speeds, better user experience, and the 6 gig band, the Wi-Fi 6E, is only for Wi-Fi 6 clients, right? That's why we're so excited about it.
All right. So, if I summarize, if I understand well what you're explaining here, and if I summarize that, Wi-Fi 4 and Wi-Fi 5 was all about adding more bandwidth. It was about adding more capacity on that highway. But now that we are moving into Wi-Fi 6, it's not about adding more bandwidth. It's about more efficiency. Absolutely. It is about being able to support more clients coming onto the Wi-Fi network and fighting for airtime and doing that in an efficient way. Now with Wi-Fi 6E, we are actually opening up a new highway with its own dedicated radio, its own dedicated frequency. And the 6E clients are moving to their own highway, which actually leaves more bandwidth, more space on the highway on 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. Did I summarize that correctly?
That's very correct, Steven. I mean, talking about the highway analogy, right? We usually say, listen, if you have a Ferrari today and you're stuck on your existing highway, what fun is there in having a Ferrari? And Wi-Fi 6E is, building that new highway and only allowing Ferraris there. So of course, so you can drive, faster and more efficient along with other people who have Ferraris and new modern cars, right? So no old lorries that you have to stay behind. So kind of staying in that highway analogy because I like it a lot. Yeah, it's a new highway for, efficient and high-speed cars, so to speak.
So, with that, you're not here to just talk about cars. I mean, you're here for the reason. Come on, bring it, show it, come.
Absolutely. So very, very proud to announce the 9136 from Cisco. It is the best Wi-Fi access point on the market, full stop.
Awesome, awesome. I mean, I've read about it, I read the specs, but seeing it in real, this is really, really cool. And I'm really proud and excited that you are actually launching it here in the Basement series. So, tell us, what is unique about this access point? Why is this one so much better and so much smarter than any of the access points that's out there already?
Absolutely. So it is the best access point out there because we've taken the already best access point, the 9130, which is the best Wi-Fi 6 access point, and we've added the best from Wi-Fi 6E onto it as well. So, going back to that highway, it has all of them, right? We're doing 8x8 in 5 gigahertz, so we really maximize the bandwidth and the airtime and utility for our existing clients, whilst also adding a 4x4 radio on 6E, getting that big fat highway, and of course also having 4x4 for 2.4 clients, because hey, we all know they're out there, we still can't get rid of them. So it's taking the best from our existing Wi-Fi 6 world and adding on the best from the Wi-Fi 6E world. Now, there's other things in there that we could talk about in just a second, but kind of that is the big highlight about the 9136.
So, I hear you say 8x8. Going back to the car analogy, is that like the big muscle cars with 8 cylinder? Is that how to see it?
That's a great analogy, or in the highway terms, that's 8 lanes right there, right? So you got 8 lanes for 5 gig, you got 4 lanes for 2.4 gig, and now also 4 lanes for 6 clients, which of course are only for the Ferraris, right? So it's basically the most amount of lanes you can get on a Wi-Fi access point today. And of course, we've brought along all of the other enterprise features that you're used to, right? And we can talk about in a second why this is cool, but all of the stuff you know and love, from whips and Clean Air coming into the 6 gigahertz.
Clean Air is there?
Clean Air is there. Clean Air Pro now
Nice.
moving into the 6 gig spectrum. The features you know and love, iCap, being able to capture packets in the 6 gig, that's all in the 9136.
I am happy to hear it's back in the 9136. We spoke with Minse Kim about the packet capture feature, and it solves a big problem for our customers, right? Because you can actually capture the packet the moment the problem arises. You don't have to go and try and replicate, because you never can, right? But now it actually is possible to do the packet capture the moment the problem is there, and I'm really happy to see it's back.
Absolutely, and across all the bands.
So from what I heard, it seems like that we have now truly flagman access points that probably has some specific use cases that it addresses and lead to pretty cool business outcomes. So could you please share, as an expert, what kind of use cases that this access point address and what it gives to the business and to our customers?
Great question. And first, actually, let me answer what I would call the connectivity use case. And then we have a bunch of smart building use cases we're also enabled. I haven't actually told you about what's in there in terms of features, but let's circle back to that in just a moment. In terms of connectivity, right? Regardless if you're in higher education, you're manufacturing, you're responsible for a network that is cubicles, you as a network person, as an IT admin, are responsible for that user experience being great, full stop. And we're all doing this wireless these days. And we're talking halfway across the world right now in high definition, with audio, with video, on low latency. And that's just an experience that's going to become richer and richer over time, right? We're seeing VR pop up, we're seeing AR pop up. We know that existing, Wi-Fi 5 networks are not going to hold up to that simple capacity and latency requirements that we're going to need for future collaboration. So across the verticals, that's definitely a use case that we're enabling with this 9136. Now, in terms of smart building, we've added a bunch of new things in this access point, right? Now, something we've never had before. We now have environmental sensors in the access point. So imagine this.
Wow.
You deploy access points across your enterprise, across, your healthcare facility, across your education. we now have temperature, we have humidity, we have air quality sensors in there. And now, yes, for all of you guys that love clean air, this is not the same air quality. We are aware that those are the same things, that name, but air quality around CO2, particles in the air. And that's very important in, learning environments. You want to make sure you have the right circulation of oxygen. We know what's gone on the past few years, also a very important component there. So we're actually enabling smart buildings throughout this platform. And finally, it's a small thing, but hey, the USB port now supports like 9 watts of power. So for those over the top, you want to deploy sensors or other technologies out there, you can do that piggybacking off the power delivery that is available from the access point, i.e. available across your enterprise or office space. So we've got a bunch of very, very exciting use cases in connectivity and smart building that we're enabling with this access point.
Wow,
That's
so
amazing.
I want to hear a little bit more about the air quality sensor. And the reason for that is because I spoke to a customer earlier today, and that was actually their number one concern. They told me, we would love our staff and our employees to go back into the office. And everyone is excited. I mean, aren't you, to go back into the office? But their number one concern is actually, is it safe? Is the air quality safe? Is the CO2 levels safe? So we were thinking about how to address that. And we were looking into DNA spaces. But with the external sensors that we had to use, we now actually have sensors built into the access points. That's
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Built right in there. Enabled with the DNA spaces, as you mentioned, so that's where the data will be flowing. And it's just one of those things, additional things that, access points these days is not just connectivity, it's about enabling those use cases, making sure the employees can come back into the offices when they want to and have that data collection in the right point, right?
Cool stuff.
All right,
And-
guys, I want to close this recording a little bit earlier because I really want to call the customer now. He's going to be so excited about this feature. That's awesome.
Please do.
Yeah, and imagine, guys, if for example, IT teams could deal with that. So previously they had siloed systems that they had to manage, so sensors, Wi-Fi, and so on. And now they have all in one, and it really simplifies their life, right?
Absolutely.
So, with this air quality thing, and we are definitely addressing a big customer pain point here, and the additional bandwidth, the new radio that is available, and the way better efficiency and more airtime available to the clients. Customers would love to get started. So that is my question. How does our customer now get started?
I mean, that is a question we get day after day. I actually just confirmed this morning with David Wolf, who is my great colleague who's led a lot of this program. We have shipped the first access points of the day of recording today's. It is orderable, so if you're listening out there and looking to get your hands on a 9136, contact your local Cisco partner, get an order in, and Stephen, we'll see. So that's how you get the hardware. Now, of course, clients are a very important part of 6E. I have the privilege to, I'm going to say play, but of course, boss, if you're listening, work very hard with, a bunch of devices, the Samsung S21s, the Google Pixels. They can do 6E today. Been running it for quite some time. Intel's newest generation of chipsets have Wi-Fi 6E in them. AMD's newest processor announcement, Wi-Fi 6 going along with it. So 2022 is definitely the year of Wi-Fi 6E clients. Everybody who's dealt with Wi-Fi generations know that the clients need to be there for us to take any advantage of it. And 2022 is definitely that year. We're seeing clients coming out left, right, and center.
Great. So, with all that being said, all the great things about Wi-Fi 6E and our new latest and greatest access point. So, Nicholas, could you please give us a call to action to us and to our auditorium, our team of IT enthusiasts who are now listening for this video?
Absolutely. So, if you're a Wi-Fi geek like me, if you're interested in technology, you'll have to learn the differences, the new things that are in Wi-Fi 6E. We do client discovery and association slightly different. There's definitely some new technology in there. Go read up on that. You'll need to know those things to deal with Wi-Fi 6E. Also, plan for it, right? Power requirements on the switches are getting higher. We can run this off 30 watts, by the way. I know some of you are thinking that question, but if you want the full capacity, the full highway, we're going to need more power from the switches. Plan for it. Clients, Windows 11, laptops, start making a plan today and read up on the technical challenges and differences that are in Wi-Fi 6E. That would be my two kind of call to actions, absolutely.
Good, yeah, makes a lot of sense. Well, Nick, as part of the Basement series, where you are right now, we always have our two favorite questions. And right now I'm gonna ask my personal favorite question. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have an amazing answer here. Tell us about a day in your career that you will never forget.
Gotcha. I mean, that is a great question, right? And there's many interesting days that I'll never forget. Being lying under a stage at Cisco Live, mounting access points, or doing other fun stuff like that. But one that really comes to mind, and I think that I'll never forget, is the first time you see your product, deployed in a customer site, serving clients. I am fortunate enough that one of our early clients of the outdoor access point, the 9124, which is, I would say, my baby, of course, along with the entire team that worked on it, one of the early customers is very close by. And I got to, go to that campus and see the APs being installed and seeing people walking by and connecting and associating. So I say the first time seeing, your product out there, and in my case, this 9124, seeing out there doing what you designed it to do after 12, 18 months, that's definitely a day I'll never forget.
Nice. You must be there like, oh,
That's so
there's my baby and he's doing so well.
Yes, absolutely. My fiance did not understand all the hype when we were walking around and I was taking photos of buildings with access points, but
So, Nicholas, now it's time for my favorite question, which is home wireless setup. And I'm looking forward to see yours. Could you please show us?
Absolutely. Happy to give you a tour. As some of you might have guessed, it's not a one access point solution. I do quite a bit. So yeah, let me take you on a tour of that. So you guys should be seeing me. I can see you guys. So we're gonna start right here already. And guys, let me know if there's any questions. But we're gonna work our way around from Wi-Fi. Anything home Wi-Fi. It's running off my 9130. It's running EWC. It's been running like that for quite some time, right? And that runs the main home Wi-Fi network. Now, of course, 9136 running all of the 6E goodness for the clients. Got the 3800, not powered on right now, but you never know when you need it. Bunch of Cisco compact switches running gaming computers, what have you. Now, some of you might find this interesting. I call this kind of the test table. I don't know if you can call it home Wi-Fi, but devices en masse for testing, be that, Apple or Zebra or iPhones. Bunch of spare access points here. Ekahau, of course, the 9104. Technically not home Wi-Fi, but you never know when you're going to need some stadium coverage in your apartment.
Wow, I've never seen that in a house.
Why not?
And now you have. And
Why not? I don't know, how big is your house?
not big enough. Definitely. Anyways, 9124 for testing and all that, 9300s. A lot of it is powered off right now because, well, it does get warm. Some of it is a bit noisy. 9130s with external antennas. Now, let me take you on a small walk. This might be a bit messy, but you can definitely see me for now whilst I'm walking out here. So we're kind of on the second part of the home setup here. Of course, some competitive Wi-Fi 6E gear, some Intel NUCs, extra compact switch, Meraki switch, all of that good stuff. And of course, then the heart of it all, just moving out here to the comms closet. It is a bit dark, but hopefully you can get the gist of it. MX86 from Meraki doing all of the SD-WAN stuff. ISR 1100 for IPv6. More compact switches. Meraki MT sensor to keep track of the temperature in here. Yeah. So I think that's the short version of a lot of gear in a very small apartment. But hey, we've all been working from home, so they've got to make it work.
Wow, really cool.
And of course, there's the small 9105Ws around here, but not really worth showing you right now.
but they're your access points, so they should be there, absolutely.
Indeed.
Nice. I think it's a great setup, and I think you've got a lot of equipment to do your home testing. Actually, I'm a bit jealous. Very often people are jealous at me with the amount of access points that I have to play around with. But you will have far more and way more different versions and models. So looking really cool, yeah.
So Nicholas, thank you so much for showing your incredible setup. Yeah, I can say, I must admit, I'm also kind of jealous because you have so many stuff, but it's amazing, truly amazing. Thank you for showing. And with that, I just want to say huge thank you for coming today and giving us a privilege to see this access points first, I would say, in the whole industry, and giving us an opportunity to share it with our viewers. Thank you so much for coming and sharing.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Sofya, Steven. Been great. It's been an honor and a pleasure, and hope to come back soon again and talk about awesome technology or how you can add more access points to your home.
That was amazing indeed. Yes, absolutely. So with that, we are at the end of the episode, and I'm really proud and thankful that we were actually launching a new product in the Basement series. So if you liked the episode, please like and subscribe. We are very thankful for everyone watching. Do leave a comment if you have any additional questions or you want us to talk about a certain topic. Let us know. We are more than happy to take that into the next episode of the Basement series. So with that, thanks everyone. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your time. And Sofya, thank you very much. Always a pleasure with you. Nick, you're a hero. And yeah, thank you. See you in the next episode. Bye.